我今年30岁。
我来自中国，我叫大黑，这是我第一次来塞尔维亚。I'm Blake from China. I'm 30 years old. This is my first living Belgrade, Serbia. Yeah.
And I'll be truly happy living in Beijing because it is, without a doubt, China's most significant and largest city.
工作是在时尚行业，然后我会，在北京。
You'll have countless opportunities to learn and grow, and you'll also discover immense satisfaction and joy in your professional life. Furthermore, you'll connect with many like-minded individuals and friends who will be right there sharing these experiences with you. The primary reason I decided to come to Belgrade is because, first and foremost, this year I've reached the age of 30. I truly hope that at this significant milestone, I can genuinely challenge myself. And then I want to go abroad once more to embark on a brand new entrepreneurial journey. This will also mark my very first venture into the world of business. Ultimately, I aspire to completely transform my life into something truly, profoundly different. Actually, I still want to mention again that I came here to start a business and I chose to open a store. And I really hope that this store will have traces of my life. Just like I would sell Tibetan incense in my shop, it originates from Tibet, from my very own hometown. Because I've been using this product since I was a child, I have great faith in it, and I genuinely enjoy using it. All my family members, my grandparents, my parents, we all deeply love using it. That's why I truly believe in this product, because it has brought me so much warmth, and it has also provided me with a great deal of strength. So I truly believe that selling this product right here is an excellent idea, especially since there are no Tibetans residing in this area and no one else is offering Tibetan incense. Therefore, my primary goal was to introduce products from my cherished hometown to Belgrade. And in fact, I've already been operating my business for nearly 2 full weeks now, and I'm delighted to say that everyone has absolutely adored the unique fragrance.
And so I had Sam tell me what my future plans in Serbia were going to be.
My hope is to be able to introduce to everyone many excellent Tibetan incenses from my hometown, those very special fragrances that truly represent the essence of my homeland. And in addition to that, here within my shop, I will also be featuring many of my artist friends and musician friends from China. I also genuinely wish to present their unique artistic creations, their innovative concepts, and the wonderful music that my talented musician friends have composed and brought to life. And even within a very small space in Serbia, we can still manage to have our voices heard and expressed, bringing something truly meaningful to the incredibly cool young people of Belgrade, allowing them the opportunity to witness and understand these things.
First of all, as a matter of fact, it's concealed.
The reason I've loved using incense since I was a child is because my family has always had this habit. Actually, every single morning, right after I wake up, because my ancestral home is situated in the countryside, so each and every morning, once I've gotten up, we possess a really, really spacious yard. And then the family members will carefully prepare and light the charcoal fire, and then they'll place it into a truly massive iron basin. After that, we'll use some sturdy iron wire to string it up so that it hangs just like a traditional lantern. All the spices are then sprinkled onto the burning embers. In fact, some use hot charcoal, others use cow dung or other animal waste, and the spices are scattered on top of these. Then, every morning when you wake up, you'll find yourself completely enveloped in a vast, thick cloud of white smoke, and you'll be roused from your sleep by that distinct aroma. Because older folks being advanced in years tend to wake up much earlier than the kids, consequently, we are always roused from our slumber by this distinct aroma, and that's precisely when my day officially commences. For instance, if someone in the village, or perhaps a family member, passes away, this is also a moment, a time when we absolutely must use incense. And also, since I am Tibetan and I practice Buddhism in our religious traditions, incense is used even more frequently, this very item. It is constantly, without fail, present in my daily life. First of all, after I arrived in Belgrade, you see, finding a suitable storefront is actually an incredibly difficult task for so many individuals we see out on the streets today, all of whom are hoping to open their very own businesses. Finding a truly ideal location is genuinely a monumental challenge. However, I consider myself to be extremely fortunate. This particular shop, you see, was previously occupied by the tenant right before me. The moment they decided to terminate their lease that very same day, they promptly posted a for rent notice. So my very, very good friend, the one who came with me to Belgrade, he told me, because he went grocery shopping, he said, there's a shop here right on the corner of a really good intersection. And he said, you should rent it. This was quite an unexpected surprise because my friend had actually been looking for a storefront for 3 or 4 months already, but I actually arrived in Belgrade after him. At that time, I probably hadn't even started looking for a storefront, and I already had this shop. And at that point, this particular shop was definitely an unexpected surprise. I was incredibly lucky to have found such a wonderful spot. And when I first laid eyes on this room, it was actually entirely covered in green walls. But one incredibly good point was that this particular storefront not only boasted an excellent location, but it also featured a spacious underground B1 level, which could perfectly serve as my dedicated storage area. And simultaneously, I could even set up my office down there. So in essence, it truly fulfilled all of my requirements. First, it's not overly spacious, and secondly, it even has its own storage unit. So I saved myself the expense of renting a separate warehouse. This was just incredibly fortunate. And when I discovered this particular shop, I immediately reached out to my very good friend in London, who is an architectural design student. So I went and told him, I'm planning to open a store and I've already secured a location, so I was hoping you could help me design the entire interior space. And when he heard that, he was also very happy. He said, I'd be more than willing to help you and I can work on this project with you. So I said, okay, and then he promptly sent me all the design blueprints. We then proceeded to discuss them thoroughly together. First, I also explained to him that I was envisioning a specific kind of wood color and also the aesthetic of exposed stone. Consequently, I made it quite clear that I would definitely be stripping away all of the previous green wall surfaces. After that, we deliberated on the details together and ultimately finalized this particular design plan.
And then we go to this place.
The store, this particular store. Actually, from the moment the design plans were completed, because at that time, I still aimed to save some of the budget. And also, truthfully, this is my very first time starting a business, so I especially wanted to personally create this entire store myself. From the very beginning, I wanted this shop to be like a little baby. Of course, everything starting completely fresh. And for all the walls, I actually discussed it with the landlord, of course, asking if I could transform them to look exactly like this. The landlord is also very kind. He's actually the boss of my next door neighbor. He's also my landlord at the same time. He's a truly wonderful person and he's been incredibly supportive of my design plans. What's more, he's genuinely fascinated by this entire venture I'm undertaking, this business of selling various types of incense, especially the stick incense. He's really quite keen on it. And then everything just fell perfectly into place. I was so incredibly fortunate to have found such a wonderful storefront location. I was also extremely lucky to have a landlord who was truly supportive of my design aspirations. And I was equally fortunate to have a friend who was genuinely eager to lend a helping hand. And up until now, these are actually all my own relatives and friends, including my friends. Luna is also one of them. After arriving in Serbia, we actually built this store together. And then actually, as I've just mentioned before, I have quite a number of artist friends from China, and I also have many musician friends from China. And in fact, from the very beginning, this was always part of the overall plan. So my hope is that they will be able to come here to Serbia, and actually in this kind of intimate, smaller space, they could perform some shows and also conduct workshops.
And because my friends are all very interesting, they are also very famous musicians and very famous artists, all in China.
So my partner Luna and I have been imagining that this space could also become more of a place for cultural exchange. This is what we aspire to. However, this is also a very challenging task, but we are very much determined to make it happen.
Well, besides this one chocolate, my absolute favorite, probably my most favorite thing is the light chocolate. And it's also very inexpensive, meaning it's both affordable and perfectly meets all my needs. Plus, at the same time, it just looks incredibly cool. It's also very smart.
Right now, being present at the store is absolutely my top priority because this particular store has only just launched. It's still in its very early stages of development. And in fact, it's been less than 2 weeks since our grand opening. So I really need to dedicate more of my time and effort to Y2AGA. But as you mentioned, the truth is, fashion was perhaps one of the things that truly captivated me when I was much younger. And while I haven't completely lost my fascination with fashion, it's just that it no longer holds the same level of significance in my daily life. However, I still make an effort to keep up with the newest fashion shows, but I likely won't be purchasing those items as readily as I did in my youth. However, I actually still possess a strong interest in the world of fashion, but it doesn't need to be my profession anymore. So But currently, because I'm also deeply involved in performance art, I'll actually still be having quite a few performances in China because, in fact, just last week, our art label, which is based in Beijing, had just finished a performance. So this particular aspect of my work is something I'll definitely continue to pursue, as it's also a significant hobby of mine. But actually, for me, opening a shop like this is primarily about being able to earn a living. And at the very same time, it allows me to truly integrate my personal interests and passions into the business itself. It makes me genuinely happy when I'm working. And yes, I can still make money. Of course, I do have other hobbies as well. For all the design work, the entire project, I also invited someone who is truly professional. And she's also one of my absolute best friends here in Beijing. Her name is Yue, and she's just exceptionally talented. In the summer, I told him I was going to open a shop. At that time, I had already rented a storefront, and I said I would really love to invite you to handle all the visual design for my entire store. He then told me that he was currently in Annecy, France, attending an animation film festival. He is incredibly talented, and he had also won an award there. And he said he was very interested, so I told him at that moment, okay, I'll buy you a plane ticket, and you just fly over, come here to Serbia. You come to Belgrade and we'll get all the preliminary visual components finished up together. Then it will be absolutely perfect. And that very day, he arrived. When he got here, he missed his flight. So I bought him a new ticket and then he flew over and he worked very quickly. We actually, from the initial idea to everything being set up, we only spent 3 days. We handled all the preliminary visual aspects, and then the font design, we had already completely finished all of them. And at that point, we had actually even finished the product's design phase. In fact, it was after he arrived here in Belgrade that my efficiency became very high. Yes. Because he's very professional and he also has a great aesthetic sense. So communicating with him is very fast. Our discussions are very quick and execution is also fast. For example, all the pictures that we've been using and posting on Instagram, actually at the very beginning, even though right now it's just me and Luna working together in the store, but in reality, WhiteEgg and some other colleagues, like my graphic designer, my friend who's primarily responsible for design, he is Yue. And then there's another person who's primarily responsible for product, he is Wang Shi. And then there's also another designer who helps me with the design of other products. His name is Huang Jun. I forgot. Right, actually, from the start, I felt everyone's cooperation was very seamless because we've all had work interactions before, so communication was very quick. So actually, whenever I have some ideas, I always tell him, first we need to start selling Tibetan incense. And then I'll explain what kind of concept I'm trying to convey, because Tibetan incense also has some cultural differences. So when we enter the market in Belgrade, how exactly should we adapt? And actually, after I presented my ideas to my other work colleagues, everyone was then able to very quickly grasp what I was trying to convey, and our overall aesthetic sensibilities were also perfectly aligned. So once everything came together like this, all the work proceeded very quickly. And because we're a very small team, we don't have those typical layers of communication barriers. So as long as I share my ideas with everyone and they execute them well, then I feel everything is fine. This makes our overall efficiency extremely high, and I have absolute, complete trust in my partners.
All of these products and works were completed with the help of my very excellent Chinese colleagues.
At the very beginning, we were thinking of opening a store and what to name it. Actually, for a name, I think it's a very important thing for a store, because you need to tell this new city who you are. For WhiteEgg, for me, it's about telling Belgrade who I am. So I really like this question. My first and primary hope is for it to be something truly minimalist, yet simultaneously capable of inspiring a wealth of diverse imaginations in everyone. And then, at the very same time, it also features this kind of symmetrical design. And what's more, in the context of my own culture, it is considered profoundly sacred. So when you look at it comprehensively, the symbolism of the egg is truly wonderful. It represents life and it signifies a complete rebirth. As for me personally, I had previously penned an essay, and in that very piece, I also wrote down my thoughts, expressing that for me, turning 30 years old marks a brand new chapter, a fresh start.
In fact, it feels as though I have entirely discarded, completely just left my old self behind in Beijing, and then in Belgrade, I am truly a new person. So this egg also signifies a new birth, a new beginning. For me, it truly represents a brand new start, and at the same time, it carries such a very, very beautiful and profound symbolism.
So actually, I was really, and I was also chatting with some friends, and we started talking, wow, there's a white egg emoji. I said, wow, that's cool. And it's very simple. Then I said, well, let's just use this one. It was also very quick, and so we decided to go with it. I hope you every day come here.